Hello, the internet. I have discovered that my camera will not focus on this canvas unless something is in the screen. There it goes. So, as you can see, I've put down canvas on my desk to hopefully help with the focus issue. Ideally, it will stop trying to focus on the cutting mat underneath here and be better at focusing on what's on my screen. Although so far, meh. Happy Friday, happy tea time. As you know, there was a poll. The poll was voted on and the internet voted for small octopus. I sort of suspect that it voted small because I spelled it internet small, but who can tell? But what I was really taken with was a comment that suggested medium octopus, as in an octopus that speaks with dead octopi. So my interpretation that I think I'm going to work on today, hopefully we'll get pretty far into it, is that I'm going to do 2 colors of clay. A very small white clay octopus. He'll be the ghost, and I'm going to sit him on top of a larger, still small, but larger, black clay octopus, and have them just be kind of raw clay when they're fired, not glaze them. So it'll be a stark black and white difference. And that will be my octopus medium speaking with the octopus dead. So we'll see how far we get. I'm feeling a little frazzled today, so I think it might be a fairly chill stream. If I fall back on just describing what I'm doing, you'll know what happened. But first, I have some stuff out of the kiln with glaze on it to show everybody from previous streams. So to start with, we have a little bird jar. I made this jar on stream, but not the bird. He was just leftover clay sitting around that I'd turned into something. See if I can get the camera to really focus on it. Camera, there. Oh, camera, you were so close. You were so close to being correct. And then you were wrong. So he is all glazed, all set. His lid has warped slightly in firing, so it's not as tight a fit as it was, but it's still pretty okay. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him. See if I can get... Aha! There we go. A good shot of the little bird. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do some sort of competition or giveaway. I think I want to do something related to the tea time stream where he becomes some sort of special thing. But I haven't decided what yet, so I'll get back to you on the future of Little Blue Bird Jar. The other thing that we have out of the kiln is our little quail family. Quail family is, apparently if I hold it really close, maybe. If I give the camera no choice but to focus. Little quail family. We got parent quail here. The top of his little head. Let's see if I can get it to there. Oh, so close. So close to being in focus. Just gonna fight with this camera this whole time. There. This expensive camera that does not want to autofocus properly. Why would you think I'd want you to focus on the background, camera? Anyway, I like how this new glaze breaks over little details. So we've got the quail parents, and then we've got little baby quails, little yellow babies. Oh yeah, of course the camera's like, sure, I'll focus on the babies. So, little yellow babies to go with the mummy and daddy. And these will go up in the shop at some point this week, and I will alert you guys when it's up. Ideally, I'm going to spend some more time this month actually finishing stuff and getting it up on the internet for sale so that people can actually buy it. So that would be fun. And that's the fun finished, just keep my hands here so it stays in focus, the fun finished stuff that we've got to show. And now let's make a tiny octopus. I feel like it's going to be kind of a quiet chat and a quiet stream. So I think I'm going to do a little bit more talking about what I'm doing this time. Canvas, by the way, is the surface for clay because clay doesn't stick to it. So it does mark the pattern of the canvas on it a little bit, but the clay doesn't adhere and peel away, so it's a nice surface to work on. Got some of the last of my recycled white clay from the sheep guana adventure. Oh, you can see my Trader Joe's frequent flyer in the corner. Just gonna nudge things this way very slightly. There we go. Hopefully. That's good. Okay. So how small do we think we're gonna go with? Let's try for really tiny. Let's try for alarmingly small. Let's go for like just so maybe. Oh, I think we can be smaller. I think we can go smaller. Let's try it and see. The thing about clay, ceramic clay specifically, pottery clay, is that it is basically grains of dirt and grit held together with water. So one of the problems, especially with small things that require tentacles and like small rolled out pieces, is that they will tend to crack because they'll dry quickly, and then as you bend them, those grains will separate. So we're kind of pushing our luck to go extra tiny. But I think it's going to be worth it. Get out a tool here. Oh, where's my... Let's grab some of these little tools. And where's my stabby tool? There's my stabby tool. Stabby tool. Probably talked about my tools before on stream, but a lot of them are old dental tools that I picked up at an antique fair. And they make really nice sculpture tools, possibly because they were originally made for sculpting teeth. Or at least the fillings on teeth. So, octopus have a kind of distinctive shape. And I've sculpted a lot of them, so I kind of have it memorized. Here's on one of these sides there's a siphon. I often accidentally put a siphon on both sides because I get too excited about symmetry and stop thinking about science. So, I don't know, yell at me if that starts to happen. Ideally, we'll be able to make this tiny octopus and then move on to bigger octopus sort of midstream after the break, maybe. I don't have to do anything fancy with this guy because he's so small. I don't have to hollow him out or anything like that. So that will help. Just gonna take a chunk out there. So now this is kind of basic octopus body shape here. Got his mantle and his area for his eyes, sort of here. Siphon comes out there. And then we'll have this bit where his tentacles will attach. And you can see kind of how it's already sort of going crumbly here at the edge when it gets thin. That's going to be the challenge with the tiny tentacles. So I think we're probably kind of in a race to get the tentacles on before everything becomes like too dry to manage. Because they're going to start drying sort of the minute I roll them out thin. Because they've got to be pretty small. I don't know, I feel like I could have gone slightly smaller with him, but we'll go with this scale for small ghost octopus. And then we'll just go slightly larger for the other one, make him a little bit less than small, or a little bit more than small rather, so that there's a startling, I kind of want there to be a startling size difference. Like I want this little tiny guy sitting on top of the, oops, I've drifted off camera. I want this tiny little guy sitting on top of a larger octopus's like head, just sort of making a good visual difference. So, trick is we want to get the body basically done and shaped before we put the tentacles on, because once we have tentacles on, they're going to be fiddly and fragile, and we can't easily hold him or pick him up or squeeze him, or, well, everything we do will risk breaking off or squidging the tentacles. So we want to be prepared for when we get there. So let's get some silly details in. Give him a siphon. I'm gonna guess which side that should be on. I feel like it's this side. If I'm scientifically incorrect, I apologize to the internet in general, but to the science internet in particular. Get ourselves a little siphon, shape it a bit here. And again, you can see the clay working this small is kind of, again, getting fissures in it from where the grains are pulling apart as it gets shaped and dries out. Now here's a fun trick that I don't know that I've done with anything on camera yet, is this tiny brush. I don't know where I got it. I think it was in someone's toolbox at an art show, and I was like, can I have this? They were like, yeah, I don't know where it came from. But it's a really nice tool for, it's like a soft kind of well-used little brush, and it's good for making sure the clay stays a little bit damp in specific places, but also for smoothing out places that I can't get my finger into, like sort of under there or like around that siphon, so that I get a better, smoother finish and don't leave the chunkiness. Oh, hi, Olivia. Look, chat is quite quiet today, so all you've missed is me talking about exactly what I'm doing as I do it. It's a very podcast tutorial sort of chat day. Getting a little siphon on a tiny ghost octopus here. Oh, camera. I really want you to see. There we go. Tiny ghost octopus. Trying so hard to make this So, I'm going to complain about this camera for a minute. It's a Logitech camera, and what I've discovered is that just there's no software for Mac for basically any streaming camera, anything. Which, I mean, okay, fine. I guess it's probably complicated to deal with, but that's the computer I got. So it's problematic. All right, that's the only complaining I will do. I promise we'll go back now to happy little octopus. Octopus time. So we've got, okay, let's give him some eyes. Let's see what size eyes. Okay, let's go with this. I have multiple eye things. Hi, Hannah. I have multiple eye stamps, and one of them is this particular ballpoint pen. So I feel like this is about the. Is that the? I don't know. It feels a little, maybe a little. No, that's all right. Maybe a little small, but we can deal with it. Oh, I just needed to sort of punch deeper. There we go. Yeah, it is working. Webcam footage. Hi, Rcraft. Oh, that's a thing to mention. If anyone enjoyed previous sheep guana lore and missed my retweet, there's some new Rcraft sheep guana lore up on Twitter for you. It's on my retweets for this week, and I don't tweet that much, so you can probably find it pretty easily. It is excellent. It is about some of the best sheep iguanas based on the amazing Galapagos Island iguanas that live mostly in the ocean. So I highly recommend. Also, I'm a pun at the end, so you know, maybe slightly biased about that. I'm a French pun, which is excellent. Okay. One last thing, and let's see if I can get it to work. So octopus have like that eye that's kind of yes, perfect. That little, see if I can get it to focus up close. That little sort of square pupil going on. All right, let's find a sponge. There we go. So we're gonna set him down on this sponge for a minute because it's time to make some tentacles. Move some stuff out of the way. Put my still writing ballpoint pen away. Okay. Let's see if we can do tentacles fast enough so they don't. Okay. Yep. See, this is what's already kind of. You can see it sort of already cracking and fissuring. Yeah, it made me happy to be at the end of your fiction, Arcraft. I so wanted to answer with like, I see what you did there, but then I was like, nah, that's like it's like pointing out the joke in order to laugh at it. Seems silly. All right. Rolling out some tentacles. I'm sorry if this gets all chunky and weird in the camera. It's see, and this is the problem with this is the problem with the canvas. You get canvas print on your clay, although the clay doesn't stick to it when you roll it, which is really nice. So we gotta go pretty thin here for these tentacles. Uh-oh. Cracking. Cracking already. Not a good sign. It's gonna roll this out. And while we're rolling it out, I want a sip of tea, but not sure. I think I need to not stop this process until we achieve the correct tentacle scale. Lest I miss my window of perfect clay. Well, that feels still a little close, but a little thick still. Let's try to gently and delicately thin it just slightly. So in case you missed the very beginning when I explained the idea for this sculpture, someone mentioned the idea of octopus medium, as in an octopus who speaks with dead octopuses. Octopi. I think it's technically octopuses, but I always liked octopi better as a word. Anyway, so we're gonna do this tiny white octopus, and then we're gonna put him on top of a larger black clay octopus, and this one's going to be the ghost. So we're gonna sort of, I don't know, I may have to roll out another strand here to get enough tentacles. Yep, I think we're only gonna manage 4. We're gonna have to do it again, but let's get these on before they cause problems. Just kind of quickly, roughly attaching them here. Yeah, Ouija puss. Of course, yeah, there was a lot of love for the Ouija board fleeing octopus, but that was frankly a bit. I'm not sculpting a tiny Ouija board, you guys. It's not a thing I'm gonna do in ceramic, so I may draw that as a cartoon later this week. But in this situation, our octopus friend is gonna be good. So I think I'm gonna try and keep tentacles simple. And you can see they're already kind of becoming slightly problematic to deal with, so I'm gonna see about pinching them off just a bit shorter, because I don't need him to be doing anything crazy with his arms. I think that mostly I'm just gonna roll them up, because he's gonna be He's going to be sitting on another friend, so he doesn't need too much grip. Although I do want a little bit of depth with them. Do kind of a symmetry thing here in the front. Maybe a little bit of tangling. Oh, already got our first bit of breakage. You can see right there where he's cracked when I bent it, and we're just going to kind of patch that over. And now the real thing is to just try not to move them anymore once they're here, until they're a little bit set. Kind of use this to gently squidge them into, okay. We're just going to have him sit still for a bit while we roll out another 4 tentacles. I mean, so they say that there are what, brains per tentacle, or like enough nerves per tentacle to have independent tentacle decision making. So I don't know. It's perfectly possible. Squidging. It's definitely a squidging as a sculpting term. So rolling out some more tentacles. Need 4 more tentacles. Trying not to wobble this camera as I roll. Realize I'm getting a little bit enthusiastic with the pressure there. Roll in some additional tentacles. Oh, I've gone a little bit oval. There's a trick to the pressure and speed of rolling out sort of a round coil instead of accidentally putting too much pressure on one side and ending up with kind of an oval. And that trick is like a subconscious thing that I can do sometimes and then super can't do other times. One day I'll learn to make it like properly replicable. Yeah, my camera is it keeps refocusing when I move my hands. I might try to figure out how to tell it to stop autofocusing and just focus on just the ground. Don't feel bad about weirdly shaped pottery in art class. That's how all pottery starts. Weirdly shaped, crooked, off center. I have a bowl in which my keys reside that's just horrifying in terms of a piece of pottery. I painted flowers on it to make it seem nice, but it's but it's not. It's all wobbly and weird. Autoshop sounds potentially useful. I don't know anything about how my car works. I don't even know how to change my own oil. I know how to check my oil to make sure it's got oil. which I consider enough. I mean, it's a good life skill. Automotive skills. So now the trick is to carefully put these new tentacles on without dislodging the previous tentacles or, you know, squishing anything. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about high school, my school barely had art classes and I didn't take them. Um, it definitely didn't have pottery or auto shop. Um, True story. One of the reasons I did not take the high school art classes that were offered is because they were taught by the teacher who had once been my little sister's 4th grade teacher. And my little sister's 4th grade teacher made her cry, and I will never forgive her for that. And so when she was teaching art class, I was like, no, I still haven't forgiven you. Still haven't forgiven you for making my little sister cry. Oh no, T-bone truck, that's not ideal. Poor automotive teacher. Alright. Here's another fun pottery trick. I like to rest these guys on sponges once I've got the tentacles sort of attached, because then I can sort of pick him up like this, have him in the air, and my thumb isn't pressing on any of the tentacles anywhere. So I'm not putting much pressure on these fragile little clay tubes. All right. Let's get some better ends on these little... All right, where are we going to put these other tentacles? Let's see. Let's have this one around here. This is one of the most fun parts of doing. This is why I like sculpting Octopus, because I get to just kind of make decisions on where the tentacles go kind of at random. I can arrange them how I like in weird organic shapes. And whatever I do is fine, because they're tentacles. So let's see. Let's tidy ourselves up here. Try to make sure that where things come together, they're attached, instead of just squidged into place. Get some details into the edges of things here. Try and lose some of that canvas texture on the tentacles. We will give the tentacles suckers, but we will do it later when they are a little bit less fragile and delicate, and a little bit more leather hard and less likely to crumble apart, ideally. Oh, camera, I wish you'd learn to focus. Anyway, we'll get all the little details in here. Making sure that things are a little bit smoother. Oops. A little bit better attached. There. And then try and kind of ease all of these sort of cracking while drying places here. As best we can. And I'll probably go back to him a few times while he's setting, and try and sort of ease out those cracks again. But for now, I think we're good. I think we're gonna cover him up, wipe the white off of our work area, and get out some. Why is it? It'll be like in focus for a hot second, and then and then it'll immediately unfocus, like it was correct and couldn't handle being right for once. Okay, let's see here. Let's get this white clay back into its bag. And got another plastic bag to put over this guy. A nice tall plastic bag so that ideally he won't get squidged. I don't want to have it touching his tentacles or anything, so tuck him out of the way here. Yeah, the trick with using multiple colors of clay is I kind of have to tidy up in between, because I don't want a bunch of white smudges on my black clay. So I might need to find a new sponge. So let's see. I'll sort of wipe up here. See how much we can get up. It's the lovely sound of sponge scraping canvas here. Okay, let's. Camera hates everything. Oh, I'm glad it's an oddly satisfying noise anyway. Let's see if I can reach my sponges without ripping my microphone out of the computer. Yes, yes I can. Okay, new, fresh, clean sponge. Trying to wash the white clay off my. You know what, camera? Here, focus on my elbow. I'll give you something to do. ASMR concept. Sponge on canvas. You know what, camera? Here. Focus on that. There you go. Focus on quail. It's performing in an annoyingly mediocre fashion for a $80 camera. All right, there's quail. If you missed the beginning, I showed some fired finished stuff that we made on stream. So we got some fired quail Fired baby quail. And the bird jar. Here. Blue bird jar. And there's that. Okay, time for tea. Ooh, haven't had a sip of tea this whole time. Talked for an hour with no tea. What is happening? Tea today is the last of the green tea that was a gift from Hannah from magical foreign lands. After this cup of tea, it is gone forever. All right, let's bring out. Oh, now it's everywhere. Stuck on the camera. Oh, I did like it, and I do like it, and it's gone now. So black clay is horrible. It's not. I actually really enjoy how it fires, but it gets on like it gets on everything. So I'm gonna kind of ruin my backdrop here. Yeah, this is it. It stains your hands. It stains the surface. It's just. It's yeah. It's awful. But it fires black, like it's made from manganese, and it fires dark black, and that's just super fun. So let's grab a squidge of that. Let's see. Now bigger. We're gonna have to hollow this guy out. We're gonna have to go big enough to make a fun difference here between little and big. It's oh, but puer is so good. I still have some of the fancy puer that Hannah gave me because I'm rationing that. But I've had all the green tea. Yeah, no. Think of this as as chocolate cake sculpture. It's fine, chocolate cake. Now there's going to be some fun slapping noises because that's right in keeping with the visual we're going for. This clay is quite soft. You might have added too much water yesterday. Ah, tea shop is always a good excuse. I should get some fancy tea sometime soon. I'm mostly out of fancy tea. Drinking regular old Earl Grey. And this, the last of my fancy green tea. So one of the things about the black clay is that it's sticky, is I guess a good way to describe it. Like it has kind of a sticky gummy quality to it when you're trying to sculpt it, which can make it difficult to manage. And then it does kind of it does a lot of that cracking as it dries out. It's not a great sculpture clay actually, but it's so cool when it fires that it feels kind of worth it. There's a Portland Tea Fest, there's a Seattle Tea Fest. Every place should have a tea fest, really. So yeah, in case you're wondering, this bit's gonna take longer. Just shaping. This clay is trickier. It's a bigger shape. But we want it to be big so that tiny octopus sits delicately on top. And it's a good exciting difference. I think I have to be careful about drinking tea now. I'm pretty sure I should not drink manganese clay. That feels like it's probably bad for me. Just as a thought off the top of my head, don't ingest manganese. Oh no, the Tea Fest website has autoplay music. Oh no. Websites, that's never a thing anybody wants. Nobody wants autoplay music. Nobody. Specifically. It's a web mistake that I thought that everyone agreed on. Like I thought we all got together and we were like, this is a thing that we don't do anymore. We don't put autoplay music on websites. We've learned better. We've seen the error of our ways. We went back and looked at an old GeoCities website, and we were heartily concerned, chastened by our behavior. What's happening? Why is Sarah's stream suddenly playing Tea-Fest music? No. It's just you. Okay. Longer mantle. Get this pulled out some. All right. Gonna kind of set him down here and get some overhead shape going. Leave that there. Stretch my lower back, which is really angry today. Try not to drink manganese when I drink my tea. Oh no. Tea shop that loves tea but is bad at it. That's so tragic. Not mess the camera up with my towel here. Oh man, I'm gonna have to wash this towel with, nothing else. Maybe if I hand wash it in a bucket or something first. It'll get the worst out. My hands will be stained sort of vaguely orange after this. Why would you put... Never mind. You know what? Ginseng and pepper. Oh no. It's there was a really earnest, charming tea shop at a farmer's market I went to a while ago, and I got some of their blends, and yeah, same basic problem. Not very good. Like a very charming, earnest, caring, but bad tea. just not good. They had a Russian caravan, and I don't know that there was any actual lapsang souchong in it. It was weird and bland. I was not a fan. Okay. She does custom tea blend. Oh. Oh. I mean, I like her enthusiasm, you know? That's it's just it really should be coupled with ability. I feel like we've gone large enough with this guy that maybe he should be holding something. Maybe I'll give Auntie Shepherd her wildest dreams and have him holding a little oil lamp, like right there. That makes sense, right? Oil lamp candle for contacting the dead. Let's see. Yes, the first octopus is a ghost. This octopus is the medium contacting the octopus afterlife. Um, that is why we're using two different colors. Besides just fun contrast, is that the white clay is ghost octopus, and then he'll contrast really well with spooky black octopus clay for Halloween. And I'm gonna have to. Basically, what's gonna happen is when he's much firmer. But before I put on, it's gonna be tricky. Maybe after. I don't know. Anyway, this big chunk here is gonna have to be hollowed out for firing somehow or other. When I've done them before, I've sort of sliced the top off and hollowed it out, stuck the top back on. But if we're gonna stick a tiny octopus on top of him, I think we might have to work from the bottom up, slice the bottom off, and hollow him out that way. So I'm going to be kind of careful with how I do the tentacles, so that remains a possibility. All right. Let's see. Squidge him out some more. Just, you know, crouching on the floor next to my octopus here. To get a view of all the angles. Get all of my, oops, fingernail. Ah, stabbed. That's a thing that just consistently happens with ceramics. So I end up knocking into it with my fingernails. I actually got so frustrated doing the snake mugs that I actually went mid-process and like cut all my nails super short because I couldn't take the amount of damage I was doing anymore. Okay. It's not, what you want to call them, snugs? Oh, snake mugs with snake handles. Snugs. Yes. I don't know what possessed me to I just threw some mugs and then it was like, am I just gonna pull handles for them? And I thought, nah, that's too normal. I better do something else. So I made snakes. Well, hello, cat. Oh, yeah. Huh? I'm having a conversation with my cat, who is confused because I'm crouching on the floor in front of my desk. All right. Feels like we're kind of getting there on shape. I hope you all could hear my little kitty meowing at you. Yeah, no, Jack's not allowed on this desk. Also, I might have to like wash manganese clay off of him. I'm not convinced that it's a good idea if he like licked it off of himself. So, in general, it's better if this is a cat-free process. Well, you know, he's fine. He's 14 and not prepared to leap into uncomfortable or questionable locations at this point. He's learned finally to be somewhat cautious in life. After a wild, misspent youth. Yeah, no one wants me to have to give my cat a bath. That's a painful experience, let me tell you. It is not a thing he wishes to experience. He will attempt to avoid having to by using you as a tree to climb out. Alright, squidge. No! Oh no. Oh, disaster. I dropped him. Now I have to re-squidge his eye crusts. Ridges, crusts, sockets, I don't know, you know, those things. Chocolate octopus. Fun fact, I have like ice cube silicone molds of octopus. And I've always kind of wanted to use them to make bonbons, but I've never felt brave enough to do that fancy baking thing where you do a gentle coating of chocolate and then you fill it with something. That seems difficult. All right. Let's not drop the octopus this time. Let's be more careful. There's also now black clay on the baby quail because he kind of rolled into them. So, oops. It's fine. They'll be fine. Yes. Octopus chocolate molds. Octopus ice cube molds. Just all kinds of fun. I wanted to fill them with marshmallow. You know, the like those chocolate Santas or chocolate Easter bunnies you get from like Russell Stover for holidays. All right. Let's see how I'm feeling about that line there. Just gonna remove that. Give us a bit more octopus shape here. Then we can squidge that back wherever we want it. I just the word squidge, I use it a lot when talking about manipulating clay. I think because I use my hands for a lot of sculpting instead of tools, so it feels squidgy. So it's squidging. I still don't think you should eat things covered in manganese. I don't think it's good for you. There's probably warnings about it on the internet somewhere. Oh yeah, by the way, I've got a hollow here. It will connect to where I hollow out this back bit. And that will be where the air will escape during firing. So I think what we're going to try and do during this stream is kind of get all the pieces. I don't think we're going to be able to put them together because this clay is quite wet, and I'm going to want it to be pretty stiff before I stick another little octopus on top. Because I'm going to want to add details and stuff first. Use like a tool like this to sort of do, you know, divots for suckers. Do like that kind of. And we want to do that when we're a little bit less dangerously damp here. Because while we're this wet, we're so fragile. So at this size, I think we can kind of fold some of this back in. I'm losing my voice slightly. Time for more tea. Okay. Because they have these really nice sort of webbing bits between the tentacles, which we kind of ignored on the little one because he was so small. But we want to have it kind of on this one, I think, to give him a bit more detail and majesty. Well, I mean, most clay is just dirt. Really, manganese is one of the only sort of, well, if you're gonna have colored clay in general, but really manganese is the only kind of inclusion that isn't just iron, dirt, sand, you know, clay. So it's a thing to kind of be mindful of because it's a specific mineral. What is manganese? Manganese is a mineral that fires black, is what manganese is. If you see like a sandy clay with sort of speckles, like spots that have shown through the glaze, those are manganese. And clays that fire black are manganese is the mineral that colors that. Every artist has had some paint water at some point. Oh no, only 7. I've done something incorrectly to change the spacing. There's no real digital equivalent of drinking the paint water instead of the tea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yes, 8. I can count to 8. Because you can't really. I mean, now I feel like the digital equivalent is every time I've ever been chatting with someone in like Google or Slack and had it accidentally selected instead of Photoshop and accidentally like typed Z or B to them over and over, wondering why Photoshop won't change tools. I feel like that's the digital equivalent. Accidentally sending your friends Photoshop shortcuts. Because so the thing about drinking paint water is what happens is inevitably you have one cup that is very like the cup that you're drinking out of, for example, and then you have a cup that you're drinking out of, and inevitably you'll either wash your paintbrush in tea or, you know, drink your paint water. I did once pour a bunch of perlite into my teacup, which is, I guess, what I get for making my own teapots and teacups. Flower pots and teacups, rather. Because, you know, what you gonna do? Ooh, yeah, process some of that clay. There are a lot of community kilns around if you look for them. A lot of sort of community centers or like church groups, community art projects will have a kiln. And a lot of times you can pay a small fee to join a fire ring and put some stuff in. And that can be a good way to play with pottery without, having to buy a kiln and set it up and worry about whether the electricity in your house can handle it, because it might not be able to. And all of that jazz. I have no particular intention of purchasing my own kiln. That sounds that's horrible. Just sounds horrible. Like all the expense of keeping up with all of your other household electronics. But one that's made to set things basically on fire. I don't know that Jack would. Jack has his cat bed and he is deeply in love with it. Previous cat Ty would have slept on top of the kiln. She used to sleep on top of the water heater. She was in multiple places I've lived. She slept on top of the water heater. She was a find a warm corner in a weird spot kind of cat. Jack values softness above warmth in general. So instead of sleeping on a box or a water heater, he will choose his fuzzy cat bed pretty much every time. Okay, let's see. Let's sort of rest you on that for a minute. As I talk to my octopus. Okay, feeling pretty good about that. I don't have any plastic for him, so we'll have to fix that in a minute, but I think what I'm gonna do is take a little break, make some more tea, and feed my sad cat. Although now he's folded himself into the sunshine in the window and looks less sad. But I think we're at a good point in octopus time for a little break for me to make more tea. My throat is drying out. My tea is getting oversteeped at the bottom of my cup. And it's almost, it's about break time, so I'll take a quick break to boil some more water and make some more tea. I will leave you staring at this mess of chocolate clay octopus. Maybe I'll move some baby quail into the frame. Just, for fun. Set you up a little scene here. There we go. Although then I'm gonna put an image over it because I made a break time image. Yay, break time image. Oh, I just realized I haven't been recording this either. Oh well, no recording of this stream for posterity. Okay, gonna take a short break, make some tea. We'll be back shortly. Break time. And break time is over. Hooray! We are back with more green tea. Back to our not that small octopus. Get some details going on here. Okay. Octopus eye scale. Where I want to kind of This seems like a good size. I hope everyone had fun while I was on break. I made some tea. That seems very large. But sure, we'll go with it. Why not? We'll make him endearing. Hey, Hannah, I'm sorry I missed your stream too. I've had crazy amounts of work to do in the last few weeks. Now I'm done. Deadline is accomplished. Now I rest and see everyone's streams at last. Okay, I usually have a stamp for this, but I think I'm gonna have to manually draw in his eye here. Hey, you can have Twitch notify you when things are live. Although I suppose it only notifies you when they're live. That's why I tweet things about it all week, so that everyone knows it's happening. In fact, there's polls, and I try and mention it constantly. Just, hey, did you know I stream on Fridays? Hey, Fridays at 3 p.m. Just, make it a constant point of conversation. Get that in there. Yeah, I kind of tend to fill my weeknights up as well. Oh no, Twitch notifications are like a thing is streaming. Who knows which thing? How many people do you follow? All of them? Well, this is going to be very confusing for you then. Okay, I sort of feel like I need to do some trimming here. I feel like yeah, kind of like that. Quite that much there. Just need to have a little bit less spare clay going around here. Ooh, your own forge. That sounds super awesome. I would, although I feel like potentially streaming blacksmithing is extremely difficult. It's a very loud thing. It's the kind of thing that you like wear ear protection for. See, I mean, people do it on YouTube. I think that what you would do is film, set up something and film, you know, with a static camera. Then you'd have to edit it later, which could be too much effort. I mean, that would be a fair assumption to make, that you just did maybe didn't want to edit all of your blacksmithing footage together. Oh yeah, GoPro filming would be really cool. I would love to stream throwing, but I don't have a wheel, and I definitely can't like set up a camera at the group studio that I work at, for various reasons, largely other people's privacy, which, you know, is fair. But yeah, smithing stream, just having recorded footage and then like streaming, sort of talking over it and through it and like describing what you were doing would be pretty awesome, really. But yeah, that would be, I would love to watch you forge. It'd be so cool. And I would like to one day have a little tabletop wheel at home so I can stream throwing pottery, but I don't, and I can't afford it. So, for the moment, we're just doing sculpture streams, which is fine. Sculpture streams are fun, and I like sculpting. And I'm better at it than wheel throwing, frankly. So, anybody looking to actually learn anything at all will definitely get more out of me doing this than me throwing wobbly mugs. Yeah, that's, you know, rent. Things you can't do when you're renting. Build a forge in your yard. Set up a kiln in your laundry room and hope for the best. Like, it's not ideal. Don't recommend. Not really fair to your landlord. Oh, yes, that's, you definitely shouldn't try and set up a forge in a high-rise apartment in downtown. That would be dangerous. I don't have a backyard either, but I have a deck. It's very like a yard in that I've put a lot of plants on it. But it's made of wood, and I should definitely not put any kind of, you know, fire on it. Because that would be a mistake. Oh, come on, attach. Attach, little siphon. Oh dear. Oh no, Nevik Link, take some Tylenol or ibuprofen. Hope your head feels better. Oh yeah, your concrete building probably won't easily catch fire. Still, maybe don't forge inside of it, but you know. got more going for it than my questionable wooden deck. I mean, it's not that questionable. It's wood. Probably redwood. Because this is California. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for not hearing your neighbors. Because nobody has air conditioning when it's warm here. Everyone has their windows open and you can still hear your neighbors. But they can hear you too. So for the most part, everyone's pretty chill. All right. Got some eyes in there. Got a siphon. Starting to get a bit dry and crackly. So we want to try and move things along here. All right. Put you down. I don't know why I made a sound effect for that. But that's what happened. Get that out of the way. Ah, yes. AC is in fact optional here. Okay, let's roll some tentacles. Let's move my quail back out of this mess here. Clear myself some space. Let's get some tentacles going. Okay. Ah, see, I've already started the weird lozenge shape instead of the circle. Let's see if I can pull it back. I think it might just be patience. I think the secret might just be not pushing too hard and not rushing it. What a sad, unexciting secret. I'm sorry, my camera does not like my rolling hands. Still searching for the answer to focus, although I feel like it is focusing a little bit less on the weird background lines now that it's just canvas. At least I hope it's better. Could just be me wishfully believing that it should be better. So I think we'll attach the tentacles, do some basic tentacle posing. And then I think we'll maybe move on. I don't have a third color of clay prepared for a little pinch pot oil lamp, but maybe somewhere in my pile of leftover bits of clay I've got some sandy buff to do like another tone to make it a 3 clay construction. Although that has some risks involved. Oh, there are so many clay colors, but yes, specifically I happen to have a buff. Although I could just make it a black pinch pot and then glaze it to give it contrast. That would work too. But yeah, there's a bunch of clay colors. I have a round buff, which is kind of a sandy color. when fired. It's the color of these guys. White, and then this is black, which will fire black. There's also red, which fires sort of that terracotta color. There's some that fire sort of a darker brown or a medium red. I have a stoneware that fires sort of that sandy color but slightly darker. There's a bunch of clay colors. And then there's porcelains that they've just added color to, so you know, like blue. You can add just actual like color dyes. To make it whatever color you want. All right, is that the, yeah, we want pretty thick octopus tentacles here. So yes, there's a bunch of clay colors. But on my desk I have 3. But the buff is potentially too dry and hard and would need to be sort of reconstituted a bit. To be usable. So for a while this is just going to be a stream of slowly rolling clay into coils. So, you know, that's fun. Not going to keep describing it though, because, you know, what left is there to say? You did not tell me about the sushi chef in Japan who had a big weird white thing in the case and I was like, was that daikon? And he was like, no, and he gave me complimentary octopus. That is not a story that I have heard. I actually feel like too guilty to eat octopus, generally speaking. Like I've read too much about like feelings and cleverness and all that sort of octopus stuff. And now it just feels mean. Which I mean, you know, probably unfair, but honestly, I'm kind of a pushover. Like the minute you anthropomorphize anything even a little bit, I'm like, well, I can't hurt it now. It has a name, you know. Be the worst farmer. Sea urchin is delicious though. Or awful, depending. It's only delicious for like 20 seconds. Ah, yes. Talking about how delicious quail are. I mean, I don't know. No one's presented me with a quail and told me its life story and how clever it is and how much it misses its hometown or whatever. I don't. So far, no one's presented me with a real quail moral dilemma. Am I making these too short? It feels like I might be making these too short. Oh well. We can always use those for the back ones. I mean, all food is subjective, so you know, liking it or not is personal. But if you have bad sea urchin, you'll know it's bad. Just, you know, just bad. The kind of bad that makes your brain go, this is not food. This isn't a thing we should be eating. What have you done? Okay. A little bit longer? No, somehow I've made it exactly the same as the others. Cool. Oh dear. I set out to make it longer and I failed. Ah, well. Oh man, is it doing that? Is it? Oh, that focus flicker is really frustrating. I'm sorry, you guys. Um, should I point the camera at something else while I do this? Just be like, here, listen to me talk while you look at this pot while I do a thing off screen. I don't know that I can point it at Jack. He's across the room. It's too far away. Poor camera. Okay, that one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I can count. Everything's fine. just watch a drawing of an octopus while I tell you what I'm sculpting. But we're gonna have to figure out some solution to this camera because we've run out of money to throw at the problem. That was this is the best rated camera I could afford. So we're gonna have to figure out how to make it work. I don't know why I went East Tennessee there for a second, but you know. What model is this camera? It is the 22 Pro streaming camera. C22 or whatever. There's software that you can get where you're supposed to be able to control things like the focus, but the software is for PC only. So part of this problem may simply be my continued insistence on making art on a MacBook. I mean, in terms of like streaming a good quality image, it seems like it's doing well, but the focus solution is really sort of problematic. Like the thing is, I'm not sure that it's a problem if it's just if it's just pointed at the cat. Its focus problem seems to be when things move around under it and it can't keep up. Like in general, streaming cameras sort of seem to take for granted that you're just going to point them at yourself while you talk for some reason. Oh, Wine does not work on Mac anymore. Not really. It hasn't for a while. Mac's not into to that stuff. Or at least not well. I used to use versions of it to run like PC games, and it is not particularly reliable these days. But you know, Adobe and clean operating systems and mostly easy to use, and the sunk cost of attempting to change operating systems is all a factor that must be considered. Also, this is my computer, my one computer, and I use it for my job. So I can't be too weird about it. Can't try too many experiments with it. Else I might break it. And then how would I pay to fix it because I couldn't work? It'd be fun. See you later, Hannah. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, just set that. Oh, where will we set that? Here. You'll be happy to know that the trauma of watching me roll out 8 tentacles is over. I'm gonna kind of be choosy about where these go, I think. Because I want the longer ones to kind of bracket the, that might be a little bit too long. I want the longer ones to bracket the future oil lamp so that they can like really hold it up. And then we'll do this one. And then that one's a little spindly. I'll do this one in the middle. Get some attachment here. Okay. Now we'll gently move him. How will we move him? Tempting to not rip any tentacles off here. Let's get the ones in the back on. Delicate tentacle surgery here. Let's find a tool. This tool. A little bit back heavy. Octopus. Okay, let's see. This tentacle here. How many is that? 6. Yes. Oh, stabbed him with my fingernail again. Okay. 7. And 8. Okay. Now, we've got a little bit of white here, a little bit of white crumbs. All right, now here's the trick. We need to find a way to get, we're going to need some paper, we're going to need to pose these tentacles, and then we're going to need to kind of hold them in place so that they don't collapse or flatten. We're going to need to find a way to hold those tentacles in that holding up the oil lamp pose. Luckily, they don't have to be with the oil lamp first, but we need to brace them so they don't collapse while they set a little bit, because we won't be able to repose them once they're a little bit firmer, because we're already, you can see, getting that cracking again, where as the outside dries out, anytime it curves, it starts to crack apart. So let's see. Let's see what we can manage here. We have a sponge. We have another sponge, some paper, some cardstock, a tube. Just gonna, I've sort of, okay, first things first, we're gonna get this onto some cardboard for future movement. We need a bit, there we go. Put another one back here. Okay. For the moment, I've problematically drifted kind of off camera, but I've reached a point where I can't really move it forward. So let's see if we can just delicately move these tentacles like out of the way. There we go. Ease him forward a bit. Okay. Octopus. So first things first, I think I want him to be a little bit taller. It's hard to see, but I want him to be kind of like up on his tentacles a bit more. So let's take some paper here. Crumple that up. Let's see if we can get that up under here. Give him a bit more lift so that he's kind of holding himself up a bit. Yeah, there we go. So he feels a little bit taller, more impressive when he's holding up his oil lamp. We'll tidy up sort of underneath here later when we've got a firmer attachment for everything. I'm just going to go around and firm up the places where the tentacles attach, because we're about to curve them all kinds of ways. Already cracking. It's time for speed. Time to get stuff done here. Okay. let's get some poses in here. We want some stuff to hold up some tentacles. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. So we'll get these two kind of up like this. Attach them together so that they're a little bit firmer. Now we've got cracking down the sides, so we're gonna kind of wet that a little bit, hopefully smooth that out, keep it from getting worse. Okay, now now that there we go. Now you can see the drama here. Now so these are going to be the ones that are sort of holding the sides of a pinch pot. So we're going to need to be a little bit, how are we gonna have to be creative here with how we pose these, because we want to get the big curves in before it dries out too much, but we don't want, I'm just gonna kind of get them in there inside the tube. Yeah. Get them inside the tube and prevent the cracking from getting too bad. Oh, this one's really going for it there in the center. Let's kind of carefully curve that. Oh, did I just bump the camera with my head? Probably so, but that's okay. I'm gonna kind of try and make this a little bit. Okay, now these other tentacles. We want them to form some sort of basis where he can rest firmly on his tentacle base here so that he holds himself up. Don't want him to wobble while holding fire, after all. So let's try and get these to sort of adhere in a kind of tangle. But in a way that will create a bit of a base. And to be honest, I kind of like the way these are stuck together. I don't know, let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice tangle of limbs, I think. Feeling pretty good about that. Let's get the final, like, where's my sponge? Oh, it's under an octopus. Okay, let's get him kind of firmly more firmly in place. Okay, let's squidge that up. Yep, squidge is back. Just gonna keep using the word squidge, because octopuses are squidgy. And so is this clay. Let's clean up some tentacle bits here. Let's press some of these into place so that they adhere. The more points that they stick together a bit, the stronger they'll sort of be in the end. Okay, so this thing that I've got this propped up on is a problem. I wonder. I'm going to build a new construction. Oh dear. Dangerous decisions. I'm going to build a new construction with plaster. Sure. Plaster and some paper. Because that lid was creating a divot in the tentacle arms that made me sad. All right, let's get some mixture there. Because we want this to be like the sort of sturdy base where the center of the oil lamp will have some support while still looking kind of organic. So I'm trying to make sure that this one is like really extra attached. Thanks for joining us, Nevik Link. Hopefully next time I tweet some art, it'll be some exciting finished octopusness, or at least some decent in progress octopus images. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of clay over here, which is not generally a great idea at this point, but the tentacle got weird and thin at the top, and I'm not happy about it. And it's a structural support tentacle, so I wanna, there we go. Just fix it up some. This one has a kind of similar problem. Get a little bit of clay going on in there, just to smooth that joint out, because I think I squeezed it a little thin when I attached it. And I don't want it to be a weak joint. No weak jointed octopus says. Okay, let's. This little tool, by the way, is for scoring. Clay attaches best to itself when it's a rough surface, when it's a little bit damp. So what I'm doing is creating a rough texture where I feel like they haven't joined well enough without it. I'm pressing them together to try and make a stronger hold. Okay, this feels like it's going to be really tricky to hollow out. Is that how it feels? I think I'm going to have to drill a hole in the bottom. and then, I don't know, cover it up maybe. I may have created for myself a real future problem. But for now, I'm feeling pretty okay about this, provided I can move it. Let's slide sideways, and let's see if we can make this happen. We're just gonna show you side view best we can. Bring us back up. Oh dear. This is the point at which we discover that my camera is attached with basically a rubber band. It's attached with a rubber band to an iPhone camera mount. So, you know, it'll be fine, I'm sure. Seems fine. Slightly crooked somehow. But, you know, back to having a visual. Now, get another sponge. I've only got 3 sponges left, y'all. Running out of sponges. Okay. Now, to make, this is probably helping very little. But I'm just going to try and keep the manganese sort of contained here, because we're going to make a little pinch pot oil lamp, and I don't want to cover it in black clay, because I've learned from experience that what happens if you do that is that it comes out a horrifying, just like dirty, sad gray color. In fact, I have one sitting around somewhere, but I'd have to unplug all my things to find it, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Let's see, let's hunt through the pile of stuff on my desk. Here is a styrofoam ball. Put that over there. This feels soft. This has potential. Is it enough? That's kind of hard. Maybe it's enough. It's probably enough. Let's say optimistically that it's enough. Yeah, sure. It's quite soft. Quite soft, probably enough. Yeah, it's about. It seems like it's a. Oh, I really need to knead it on this canvas that's now covered in manganese. Let's take the risk. It'll be a little enough manganese, hopefully. But it'll be fine. Thanks, Olivia. I knew when I started streaming that I really wanted to stream the sculpture stuff. Kind of more that I wanted to stream the digital art. I mean, I enjoy the digital art streams as well, but for one thing, for some reason, this is easier for me to do. Like, it's easier for me to sculpt and talk at the same time than it is for me to draw and talk at the same time. Not sure why, but there you go. But also because I felt like this was just more interesting and more individual. Sort of a thing that was going to be more worth doing. So I really want this camera to work. But at least at this point, I feel like it's clear-ish. You can basically see what I've made, what I'm doing. Get other little octopus in here. We'll get all the octopuses in the shot. There we go. So it's not useless. It's just not as good as I would like it to be. All right, I don't want this to be too thick. I'm gonna be kind of careful with my pinch pot this time because it has to rest on top of this poor octopus. And I want him to be able to handle it. So let's try and keep our walls pretty thin. I don't know why I'm saying we and our. You guys are here with me on this adventure. It's your spirit is helping me keep the walls of this pinch pot thin. As I press down on the desk and wobble the camera. Oh. Nope. Starting over. I think with slightly less clay, actually. Let's take that pinch and toss it over here. We'll do it again. This time, I need to just glance over at my cabinet where my throne oil lamps are and be like, okay, that's kind of what they look like. They need taller sides. It's kind of a nice narrow bowl. So that's the base. Kind of comes up from there. There's kind of a skill to making pinch pots that I have not really mastered. Sort of a process for getting shape and consistency. That I've never needed to know. Because if I really want a complicated shape, I can make a pattern and cut slabs, or I can throw it. So mostly when I'm doing pinch stuff, I'm doing it for the texture or for the ability to make a really organic shape. I'm not used to having to make it nice, clean, and even. Let's see if we. Ooh, that's a problem. Yeah, there's the manganese. It's happened. The inclusion has happened. Clean your tools, kids. Okay. Let's see if we can try and make a uniform shape with the aid of tools. I feel like I've gotten gotten this clay too wet and too oh dear. Just gonna keep trying until we get there. Eventually we'll make it happen. We've got half an hour to make this pinch pot work. If I get too angry, I'll just make a third octopus. Okay, let's try one more time. Fingernails are still kind of in the way here. Still too long somehow. Anyway, new plan. Make it tall, not wide. Same as when you throw. Go up first, and then out. Probably should have considered that before. Because the reasoning is the same. It's that it's hard to go in once you've expanded outwards. And you lose structural integrity quickly once you pull it outwards when the sides are thin. So we'll go with throwing rules and see if that helps. It'd be sad if we sculpted 2 octopuses and then just couldn't make the pinch pot work. Where we fall down is the pinch pot. But surely we can manage. While we're slowly shaping this pinch pot for a third time, let's talk about the next few weeks of streams. Get some business out of the way here. I will be streaming next week and the week after, and then I will be not streaming the week of the 21st, so I won't be streaming on the 25th. I will be on vacation. But I think I'm going to try and make it up at some point the following week doing some sort of special Halloween thing. So, suggestions are welcome for things that you'd like to see for Halloween. I'm thinking that probably for the next few things we'll do some sort of, maybe I'll paint those black vultures. We might go back to Bird D&D and talk about villains. Do some fun world buildy stuff with sketches and spooky things. And I might pick a game and try streaming a game for a change at some point. But if anybody has any Halloween-centric things that they would be really excited to see happen, please feel free to suggest either on Twitter or here or in my messages on Instagram, I guess. I don't really check them that much, but anywhere that you can leave me a message, feel free to make some suggestions about what kind of spooky Halloween themed things you would really enjoy seeing. I'm excited about vacation. I'm gonna have a nice quiet week. Probably mostly internet free. I'll probably post photos on Instagram, because like all modern children, I like to show all of my friends how much fun I'm having. So, some vacation photos. Maybe some paintings, maybe some landscape art. But I always say I'm going to paint on vacation, and then I never really do. It's always more like this is a thing I should do wistful thinking than it is actual practice. I mean, I do like landscape painting. It's just it doesn't seem to happen around all of the relaxing and swimming and sleeping and sitting on the beach reading books, Just somehow. Other things just keep taking priority. So I feel that we have had more acceptable results this time. And that if I trim the top, to be a little bit more short. And that's my little wodge of clay over here. So yeah, medium tiny ghost octopus and oil lamp octopus are a little bit of an obscure nod to Halloween, but they are at least a little bit of a nod. I thought that was a cute take on Auntie Shepherd's note that everyone should ask for a medium octopus just to mess with me. So I did want to, at least have a nod to that and acknowledge the cleverness of that concept. And then I don't know. I toyed with the idea of whether I was going to do the oil lamp or not. I couldn't decide if it was too much, but the scale decided me in the end. He's quite a large octopus after our tiny octopus, so I felt like he needed the extra to justify his size, to make the scale feel grander intentionally. So here we have almost there. Thin it out just a little. Make sure that the sides are all even thickness. I know I'm working sort of to the side here, but I'm trying not to splat it into the middle of what's still a big mark of black clay stain. So we'll get that a little bit wider, but I want it to stay kind of deep. Lots of space for oil. And then that end gets squidged together for the wick. And get sort of evened out. What do we think? Feels too big. You can't see it. Oh, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's not too big. Just gonna thin it out a little bit. See if that helps the sense of scale. Cheating, making my sides taller again by folding a bit. And folding a bit here too. It's fine, it's the power of pinch pots. I can reform all of my mistakes. Let's get that. Okay. Trim it again, I think. Maybe this time with the actual, there's the X-Acto, with the actual X-Acto knife. The clay X-Acto knife, which is the less nice thing. I'll see you later, Alluvial. Thanks for stopping by. We're just about to wrap up. We're gonna go till 6. But once we've got this set and folded in, I think we'll swap to chat mode, maybe toy around with an extra tiny octopus attempt for the last few minutes. And let all of this stuff set before I stick it all together, because we need to get some strength into those tentacles. Okay. Pinch that oil lamp some more. Get that back a little bit steeper. Yes. Trying not to make it too thin now. as I cheat and reform the sides, making it definitely weaker at that joint, but also visually more what I was looking for. So, you know, it's trade-offs, trade-offs. Let's see. Just the last little bit of pinch there. There we go. Oh, drifting way, way off camera. Get that last little bit. Smoothed out. Okay. Let's see if we can get a firm shape set here. Oh man, it's so much easier to throw these, you guys. So much easier to throw a little bowl and then pinch a little spout. This has taken hilariously long, considering what it is. And I'm still not happy with it. I'm still kind of like, eh. Still feels a little like, yeah, like this bit still feels problematic. But every time I do this, I make it like more problematic rather than less problematic. I don't know. I think we might leave it here for now, and I'll potentially crush it and start over later. Solve my problem by going back to the drawing board again. Because it also still feels like a little bit large to me for our octopus family. But we're going to call that good enough for the moment. Because I want to at least set it on top there and give a final view of sort of the full effect that the idea will have anyway. Let's okay, so tiny octopus, an enormous octopus, and we'll just set that on top there. And carefully bring him back into frame. So yeah, the idea, give a little bit more height here, is that he will be, let's get some clay on this camera, that he'll be sort of, yeah, holding up the thing there with, and then these tentacles will come up, kind of wrap around the outside to support it. Let's get ourselves back overhead. Again, just a rubber band holding this camera up. There we go. Okay. So, gonna set that over there. Move this friend over here. We got our very small octopus, our very large octopus, and let's just take this leftover clay from this pinch pot we just made and see what we can do. We got about 10 minutes. Make maybe one tiny octopus body before we go, just to fulfill the tiny octopus promise as fully as possible. Just really tiny. Let's see how small we can go. Let's go like really hilariously. Yeah. Teeny tiny. Teeny tiny octopus. Use my fingernails, my pinky finger, everything available to form tiny octopus. Trying to drift off camera as I do it. Speed octopus. He does not need to be hollow, but that just makes it easier to spread this bit out. Make this bit a little bit longer. Did a bit more of that sort of long ovoid shape the mantles have. The kind of taper in the back. Yeah, there we go. And then let's just quickly carve details in. Let that kind of let's instead of adding a siphon, let's see if we can form one out of the clay that's here. That'll be easier at this scale. Pat it down smooth. Find a smaller. You're smaller. Stab the center of it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Get it out a little bit here. More of the traditional shape. Pointed back a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Now be careful not to squish that. Is goal number 2. Okay, tiny octopus eyeballs. How we doing? All right, 9 minutes. Smaller than the other octopus eyeballs. Need a smaller, an even smaller tool. But the only pen I have is the one that I used before. So let's see. Eyeballs later. Okay, cool. Tentacles first then. Needs must dictated by what's available at the moment. We will move on to the tentacles. Put you daintily over there. Okay. Tentacles, this scale will be really hard. I'm just going to roll off camera here and not lean against the desk and try hard to... I think I'm going to kind of pull them more like mug handles to try and keep them from cracking apart. And even then they're starting to fracture. Let's do one at a time. Where do we put you? I want you to be on camera, but you can just sit in the... That's fine. So pulling a mug handle is... we did it a little bit with sheep guano. You get your clay wet, keep your fingers wet, and you use that sort of slip that's formed, the same that you would when throwing, but you use it to kind of pull a thinner and thinner. But see, it's still, when you get this thin, it's still kind of wanting to split into its individual grains. So it's going to be quite hard to get it to be this small. But this is going to be easier than rolling it, I think. Just working on that one final tiny octopus, just to make sure that we really do small octopus justice today in our stream. Really cover the octopus scale that was promised. Oh, I'm going to keep breaking these off, aren't I? How did the first one work so much better? We'll get there. We'll make it happen. Maybe I'm just being trying to go too thin, maybe. I need to manage my expectations. Yeah, we'll just go with that. 2. All right. Oh no, we have 6 minutes to do so many more tentacles. I don't think we're gonna make it. But that's okay, because we've set out what we set out. We've done what we set out to do. We have a small octopus. We have a large octopus. He can be holding up a future better oil lamp that I think I will make in a mold or something. I don't know. I'm disenchanted with the pinch pot process of oil lamp making. But our octopus is there already for his vessel to be held aloft with his little friend who's going to go on his back. And then this tiny guy who he'll just be his own little thing. His own little octopus. Doing his own tiny octopus adventure. All right. Get that one on. 3. Might have gone too small. Oh, 4 more minutes. Let's see. See if we can do this one more. Get one more on there, and then we'll wrap up. I'll wipe the clay off my hands and we'll do a final octopus wrap up. I hope that everyone has enjoyed octopus sculpting Friday tea time. I recognize that I sort of railroaded the poll into it. But you know, sometimes you just know you want to sculpt an octopus and you just need everyone to come along with you on your chosen adventure. So I hope that you guys enjoyed indulging me in my love of sculpting cephalopods. I will put up a poll next week that will have like a bit more actual choice so that everybody can actually weigh in on more than just the scale of the creature. Although it will be digital art, so there will be some limits based solely on that. All right, I think that's where we're gonna leave this guy for now. He's got some tentacles. He's got a siphon. He's got potential, but he's quite small, and my hands are getting quite sticky. And pretty soon we're going to run into some structural problems if I don't slow down and get some basic corrections in there. So we're going to just set him gently down. Drag our other little friends into the frame here. Give ourselves an overview. So there's our small octopus army. We've got a little white octopus, a big black clay octopus, and emergency last minute octopus. And for the sake of completeness, a bad pinch pot. I hope everyone has enjoyed this week's Friday tea time. I'm gonna make some more tea, have some dinner, carry on into the weekend. Now, wipe the clay off my hands before I touch my laptop. And thanks for joining me. And I'll see you next Friday for more Friday tea time. Have a great day. Bye.